Oh, yeah. I know you're trying to do right, but you're surrounded by some people that's evil, and they wanna see your downfall. Cause you're in this truth and they don't care at all. They wanna cause you to stumble, lose your temper, come down to their level. You just really need to move out their way, cause that person being used by the devil. If you wanna live upright on the righteous path, you have to separate yourself from evil and wickedness. Separate yourself from evil and wickedness. And if you wanna seek the Most High, and see His salvation, and live righteously, separate yourself. Separate yourself from evil and wickedness. Proverbs chapter 2, verse 11 through 15. Decretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things, who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil, and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they are forward in their paths. You say you want peace and joy and love all around. Take a look at your environment. Yeah, who's around you causing all the havoc? Yeah, anything wicked going on could hold up your blessing. And anything evil will hinder your growth with the Most High. We can't afford to let it in our mind. Live upright, yeah. Righteous path, you have to separate yourself. You gotta move out that way. Separate yourself. Sometimes you gotta examine everyone around you. And if you wanna seek the Most High, yeah, see His salvation, and live righteously, separate yourself. Sometimes you might have to feed somebody. Move out their way. Yeah, just move out their way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who's stealing your joy? Separate yourself from these people. Move out these people. Get them out your life. Yeah. You have a right to keep your joy, you know what I'm saying? If they don't like to seek and praise the Most High, they don't want to praise the Father, we got a problem. We got a serious problem. If people don't want to share with you, people want to be stingy. When you're down to your last, dollar, they don't want to help you out. Separate yourself from these people. Just leave them. Sometimes people can be so evil and wicked. Can be so evil, man. Remove yourself and find yourself blameless before the Most High. Going on could hold up your blessing, and anything evil will hinder your growth with the Most High. It will hinder your growth with the Father. Hinder your growth. If you wanna live upright on the righteous path, you have to separate yourself. Get from around these people and wickedness. Separate yourself. If they always in the middle of some drama, and if you wanna seek the Most High and see His salvation, follow them wherever they go. Live righteously, separate yourself. Follow them everywhere they go. Separate yourself, you know what I'm saying? If you gotta go sleep with a ticket, out in the woods somewhere, you have to separate yourself. Just your clothes as a fool. Separate yourself from evil. You gotta do what you gotta do. If you wanna seek the Most High, and see His salvation, and live righteous. Sometimes people can be so evil. Separate yourself from evil. Separate yourself.
good morning, good morning. Facebook Live, good morning, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries, good morning, good morning. YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you this week. I hope He has really truly given you wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope He has really truly given you your whatever your heart desire. Good morning, good
Great
morning,
day,
good
great
morning.
day.
Huh?
Great day, great day. We're not morning.
Oh, grand rising. Grand rising, grand rising. Everyone, I hope the Most High really truly have given your offsprings everything they heart desire, especially when it comes down to wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His word, His judgment, and everything that He got, everything that Yahuwah has going on. The Most High really and truly, He has blessed me this week. You know, He opened my eyes up to something this morning. And it really, it showed me some stuff, and I'm gonna be talking about it today. And He was showing it to me in prayer this week, because of how He is, or the Spirit is, in the masculine tense. How He is and how He want us to be. Talking about His personality, talking about things of that nature. So sometimes He really want to show us who we are, but we just got to really truly pray that the fish scales be taken off our eyes and our ears be unplugged, so we can really truly understand who the Most High is. But let me go ahead and go to Genesis chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for Yahuwah thy El am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mother, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So let us pray this morning. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory. forever and ever, so let it be. Amen, amen, amen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Shabbat Shalom, everyone who's listening to me. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Everyone who's listening to me. I hope everyone has been doing well this week. You know, if you can just, if you have your Bibles or the Word of Yahuwah, you can keep it in the book of Exodus. You can keep it in chapter 20. Because I'll be coming from chapter 20, 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 today. And chapter Exodus, chapter 21 through 7. And the key verse is going to be verse 5. The key verse is verse 5. And it reads, "And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." Let me read that over. "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." If I may give a title of the text this morning, the title of the text this morning is, "I am not who you think I am." I am not who you think I am. I'm going to give you one word. I'm going to give you a word. I may go back to two more other words. But I'm going to give you this word today. Hold on for a second. Okay. Okay. The one word that I have right now is jealous. Jealous. Jealous is a 12th century word. Jealous means suspicion, apprehensive of rivalship. Apprehensive of rivalship. Apprehensive of rivalship. Hold on. Apprehensive of rivalship. Okay. Apprehensive of rivalship. Uneasy through fear that another has withdrawn or may withdraw from one the affections of a person he loves, or enjoy some good which he desires to obtain, followed by of or applied both to the object of love and to the rival. From the biblical context, means tolerating no unfaithfulness envy, and anger. I like both of those definitions for jealousy, because the Most High said in chapter 20 verse 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, for I the Lord thy God am a jealous God, visiting charging the sins of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So when we look at the word jealous, jealous means a suspicion, a hesitation of rivalship. A hesitation, it means to worry or rivalship. It means uneasy through fear that another has withdraw or may withdraw from the one affections of a person he loves or enjoys some good which he desired to obtain followed by of, and apply both to the object of love and to the rival. From the biblical context, it means tolerating no unfaithfulness, envy, and anger. Okay? I gave you the title of the text this morning. It says, I am not who you think I am. He said, I am a jealous El. Jealous means word of a rivalship, uneasy through the fear that another has withdrawn or may withdraw from one the affections of a person he loves. He chose Israel. He loves Israel, or enjoys Israel, or enjoys some good which he desired to obtain from Israel, followed by of, or apply both to the object of love and to the rival, tolerating no unfaithfulness from Israel, and get angry with Israel and envy Israel. Okay? So this week, right, I had the place where I work, we had an experience. And we had an experience this week. And some things happened where on the job. And it was kind of disappointing to me what happened on the job. And it was heartfelt because it affected people's lives. And the Most High, and I was stunned by it, and I was shocked by it, but I also had to understand, I had to gather more information before I could really truly understand what was actually going on. So that happened on a Monday, and Tuesday I went into prayer. Tuesday morning I went into prayer. And the Most High was revealing stuff to me on how He is and how corporation works. And when He calls us a servant, that means that we are like a slave to the master. We are a slave to Him. We are assigned to Him to do certain deeds, certain actions He requires us to do. And if we don't fulfill the contract, or we don't do what He say what we say we're gonna do, or what He tell us to do, we will get punished for it. Because He has chosen Israel as His chosen seed, and He's telling us that we got to do certain things, and if we don't do them, He will punish us, or He will bring to mind, hey, I told you to do this, and now you got to go do it. And if we continue to be hard-headed, He will actually punish us for it. He will punish us because we're not fulfilling His word. when we say obedience or obedient, I'm gonna say obedience, C-N-C-E. Okay, obedience. Obedience is the practice of submission to a higher power or authority. It means dutify. It means compliance with a command or law. Obedience means submissions. So when the Most High tells us that we got to do what He say do, or we got to be obedient to the law, that means we got to submit ourselves to His word in order to be able to get the benefits from what we want to attain from Him. Okay, so now when we go to work every day, we have to in actuality, be obedient to the company policies that the company wrote in their guidelines, so that we could be able to, so that the company can function well, but also how we can benefit from the company. Because if you don't do what the company say do, the company will write you up, and they'll write you up 3 or 4 times, 2 or 3 times, and then when you don't do what if you continue to be disobedient and not do what the company policies say, the company will eventually fire you because you was disobedient. And he was dealing with me with that this week, because he was using it as a comparative and contrast with the word of the Most High and companies and corporations, and how you can be successful in a corporation and how you can fail in a corporation, or like otherwise the same thing, how you can be successful with the Most High and how you can fail with the Most High. And a lot of the times we think that the Most High loves everybody, the Most High wants everybody to be this way, and He just love. But in actuality, He just showed you in Exodus chapter 20 verse 5 that He was a jealous El. Meaning that He was worried of rivalship, uneasy through fear that another has withdrawn or may withdraw from one the affection of a person. I'm not going to say fear, but He don't want you to He don't want you to do it, not out of concern for Him, but out of concern for yourself. He don't want you to withdraw from Him, because it's not going to affect Him more than you withdrawing, but it'll affect you the more you withdraw. And it's like the more you be disobedient on your job and don't want to follow policies, the more you're withdrawing yourself from getting grace on a job. Grace is unmerited favor, because sometimes you may go into a job, if you follow company policy, sometimes you will get grace when you mess up. But if you have been a disobedient worker or an employee or a servant or a slave, the first time you mess up is when you get your neck cut off. You get fired from that job. And that's what he was showing me today, is because jealousy means, from the biblical sense, tolerating no unfaithfulness. And see, that's something that we got to understand, meaning that you got to abide by the laws, statutes, and commandments in order to do it, in order to be able to receive the favor. And I don't think that a lot of people really, truly understand that. I don't think that they really, truly understand that. And I don't really think that they understand that in a sense, it's saying that the Most High really has emotions. When He says, I'm jealous, it's like He got some emotional feelings attached to the children of Israel. Because envy or anger is an emotional side. Even when He said, I regretted that I created man, that's an emotional statement that was spoken from the Most High. So when we're looking at the Most High, I don't really think we understand who he really is, or the Spirit is, and what is actually taking place. It says that Jesus cried for Lazarus. So when we're looking at this verse 5, 1 in Exodus chapter 21 through 7, this is the relationship that the Most High is trying to establish with his people. And he want his people to really truly understand his his laws, that what he's asking of them. He really want them to truly understand it. Because he's telling you what type of person, what type of spirit he is in verse 5. He said, I am a jealous El. Meaning that he's not tolerating anything other than you being obedient to him. And if we don't understand that, we're going to miss out on a lot of things. But I also want you to have this in the back of your mind as we go through the title, as we go through the text this morning. Go to Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. Exodus 3, verses 14. See, the Most High will give you grace in your wickedness, hoping that you will change. Jobs will give you write-ups, conferences, hoping that you don't do the same thing. But if you don't change your ways from the Most High, he will kill you. He will bring you to your knees. The same way it works on a place of an employment. Okay? So the Most High was just showing me that, but he wanted me to also bring this out to you today. Okay, in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, it reads, I'm gonna say, and God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Let me go back up to verse 13 so you can understand verse 14 first. Because sometimes you may not truly understand verse 14 when I read it. Okay, this is when the Most High Moses was having a conversation. And Moses said unto God, and Moshe said unto Yahuwah, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and shall say unto them, the El of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And El said unto Moshe, or Moses, and God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. Okay. In some terminologies, or in some teachings, or in some interpretations of I am that I am, it also could say I will be what I want to be. Okay? So it's not necessarily saying I am that I am, but it also could read, hold on. It also reads, I will be what I will be. That's why when we look at it, okay, in verse 14 it says, I will be what I will be. I am that I am means I will be what I will be. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Do you all remember when the children of Israel was going through the wilderness? And he said, I will be a cloud by day and a fire by night. The Most High was adjusting himself, or he was using whatever he needed to use to help the children of Israel out in any situation that they was in. So if he had to use a cloud by day, he would use a cloud by day. If he had to use a fire by night, he would use a fire by night. If he had to use the mammon to feed them, that's what he would do. Whatever he had to do to help the children of Israel out, he would do it. Okay? So, I want you to keep that in the back of your conscience or your mindset as we read it, because when I say the title of the text is I am not who you think I am, and then we go to Exodus chapter 3 verse 14, he said I am who I am that I am, or I will be what I will be. It gives us a different viewpoint on how Yahuwah or the Lord is. Okay, so now in Exodus chapter 20 verses 1. Okay, I'm going to read out of a couple of other books too, but Exodus chapter 20 verse 1, it tells you who is given the law, statutes, and commandments. It tells you who's speaking to Moshe, or to Moses. These are not the 10 commandments of Moses. These are the 10 commandments of Yahuwah, or the Lord. These are the 10 commandments of the Lord, not Moses. Because read in verse 1, it says, and El, or God, spake all these words, saying. It didn't say Moses spake all these words, saying. Moses was just an interpreter from Yahuwah to the children of Israel. So at this point here, Yahuwah was telling Moses what to tell the children of Israel. Then listen to this. In verse 2 it says, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. At this point right here in verse 2, the Most High is telling Moses what he did in Egypt and who did it. What he did in Egypt. He said, I am the Lord thy God, which I have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. He said that I am the only one that had the abilities to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. He said, I'm the only one who was able to do that. I'm the one that did that. I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that did that. No one else did that for you. So, we're talking about God and the Most High's actions at this point. The Most High is the one that brought the plagues on the land in Egypt. The Most High is the one that used Nebuchadnezzar to enslave the children of Israel. The Most High is the one that used King Darius, to send the children of Israel back to Jerusalem to build it. The Most High is the one that used the nation of the north to bring the children of Israel into captivity again. The Most High is the one that used Yahshua the HaMashiach to come down on the earth to be a lamb for the sins of the children of Israel and those who attach themselves to Israel. The Most High is the one that did all this, not no one else. Let's go to Job chapter 38. Because I want us to understand how we see the Most High may not be the way the Most High is. Because, I'm going to get to it in a minute. Listen to Job chapter 38 verses 1 through 4. It says, then Yahuwah answered Job out of the whirlwind. He was in the whirlwind. He was also in the burning bush when he was speaking to Moses. He also helped Moses part of the Red Sea. So now it shows you, it says, then Yahuwah answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkened counsel, words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee and answer thou me. He said, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to give me the answer. Job, since you're complaining so much, he says, where was thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declared, if thou hast understanding, who has laid the measures thereof? If thou knowest, or who has stretched the lines upon it? So what the Most High was doing was telling Job what he did upon the earth at the time of creation. That's why Genesis chapter 1 is very important. That's why Genesis 1 is very important, because it is telling you. That's why when we say the creator of the heavens and earth, the Most High is not just, I'm just talking about the deeds of the Most High right now. We're talking about the deeds of the Most High right now. We're talking about the Most High's deeds right now. Okay? He was asking Job, was you there when I created the heavens and earth? Was you there when I did all these things? And when we go to Genesis chapter 1 verses 2 through 5, listen to what this is going on. In Genesis chapter 1 verses 2, I'm just going to read 2 through 5, because it is very important that we really truly understand who the Most High is. He said creators of the heavens and earth. That means that he's a builder. Okay, in Genesis 1, 2 through 5, it says, and the earth was without void, form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. It's telling you, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to come right back to that. And it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and divided the light from the darkness. Then it says, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And evening and morning was the first day. It says, it's showing you right here the deeds and the abilities of what God was able to do. He was a creator that established the foundation of the world. He was one that was here at the very beginning when nothing else was there. But I don't really think that we truly have that in our heart, what he actually did. And sometimes we overlook it as nothing, but it's not. Also, let us go to Isaiah 45, 5 and 7. 5 through 7. Because we're in a season where we got to start putting things into its perspective place. We got to truly understand the deeds of the Father. Just like if he said that he created the plagues that was in Egypt, that means that everything that we see going on now today, he's designing it and he's allowing it to happen because he's putting everything in its prospective place. And that's something that we really truly got to think about. That the Most High is really, these are his deeds and his abilities. He's the creator of things, okay? Isaiah 45, 5 through 7. It reads, I am Yahuwah. He's telling you who he is. I am the Lord. I am the creator. And there is none else. And there is no God besides me. I gird thee, though thou hast not known me. Skip down. I'm going to come back to verse. I'm going to come back to... No, I'll just stay down. Thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am Yahuwah, and there is none else. Listen to this. He said, I formed the light and created darkness. Listen to this. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So what the Most High is saying is, I'm the creator of everything that you see on the earth. And when you truly understand that, you will get in alignment with me, because you understand that I create peace and I create evil. See, I was thinking this morning, right? Sometimes when people think they're doing something, they're not actually doing something, because whatever they think they're doing, the Most High is turning around, getting it done to them as what they're doing it to other people. So it's like sometimes what you think you're doing is just you're doing it to yourself, more so than somebody else doing it to you. But then when it happens to you, you become the victim of what you just did to somebody else and try to blame somebody else. But in actuality, you brought it on yourself, what actually truly happened. Because my wife was just having a conversation to me about somebody was... Sometimes we think people's lives are so great from the outside because they can make the outside look good. But on the inside, it's turmoil. But it's turmoil because of what they did to somebody else. And it's just coming right back on them. But that's what the Most High do. He said, I created peace and I created evil. So if we have that mindset that Yahuwah is I am that I am, or I will be what I will be, that means that he has no limits. He's an infinite creator. He's unmeasurable. So he has the ability to do all things. So when we understand that, our viewpoint of him will be totally different. And when I say him, I'm talking about the Spirit. Okay? So let us go to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 5 and 8. Because I don't want us to get caught up in limitations of the Most High. Because when we get caught up in the limitations of the Most High, we misunderstand him. We misunderstand the Spirit. Isaiah 40 and 5 through 8. I'm trying to slow down a little bit because I know some people may be, I'm hoping some people may be turning the Bible as I teach. Okay, it reads, and the glory of Yahuwah shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of Yahuwah has spoken it. Verse 6. The voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of Yahuwah bloweth upon it. Listen to that. Because the Spirit of Yahuwah bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass wither, the flowers fadeth, but the word of our El shall stand forever. What it says in verse 7? Because the Spirit of Yahuwah bloweth upon it. That means that the Most High can cause you to perish, or He can cause you to live. The deeds of the Most High is unlimited. And when we allow the deeds of the Most High, if we think that He can't do anything, we're limiting Him when we're not seeing the possibilities. Sometimes it's like my wife dreamed this week, right? She just started her business, and you know she's doing very well, but because sometimes we may not see things the way we want to see, we may not be doing the way we want to do things, and we get a little afraid or uncomfortable because of the way things may be going. We don't depend on Yahuwah at the time. We get a little afraid. We get a little uncomfortable. We get in a certain situation because we think that the Yahuwah is not present, but when He is present at the time. So sometimes we don't think that He can bless us the way He want to bless us. But she had a dream because this week she was uncomfortable, and the Most High had to send her a dream and let her know that it's going to be okay. Because us as people, right, when we get something new, or us as people, period, we just always want things to go the way we want it to go. We want it to always be the way we want it to be. We just always want to be on top. We don't never want any challenges. We don't never want no adversities. We don't never want anything to get into the way of our comfortableness. We always want to be comfortable. We don't never want to be stretched and pulled and our faith or our belief system challenged. We don't never want that to happen because it shakes us in ways that we don't want to be shaken. But it's good for us to be shaken because sometimes it pushes us over the top. So this week, the Most High had to send my wife a dream to let her know that whatever she was going through, it was going to be okay. But sometimes you have to just trust the Spirit. And a lot of times we don't want to trust the Spirit the moment we get a little uncomfortable. We don't want to trust the Spirit the moment we think things are going to get tough. We don't want to. We get shaken and so He has to send us a messenger or an angel to speak to us to let us know, hey, it's going to be okay. And if we don't think that the Most High speaks to us through dreams, we're crazy. But I do want us to know that when we start to limit the Most High abilities, we won't be able to see the Most High at all. See, if you see a person that's less fortunate on the streets because of, say, okay, if you see people in jail today, let me rephrase that. If you see some people in jail today, you will see the Most High's judgment on those people. Why? Because they broke the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Some people are in jail because of the lies of the justice system. But it says that the rain rains on the just and the unjust, meaning that it's going to be sometimes the good people are going to suffer some bad things. But that's still the Most High's word fulfilling itself, or his deeds fulfilling itself. So we have to really truly understand how we think we see the Father and how the Father really truly is. He's not who you think he is. He's not just let me see something. Let me find something for you. Hold on. He's not this in 1 John. He's not just this in 1 John. He is this. This is part of him. 1 John 4. He's part of this, but it's not just him. Hold on. Let me do something else. Yeah, I just read this. This is part of his essence, but not the complete essence. In 1 John 4, 7 through 10, I read. Or 10 through 16, or 15, or 14, or 12. I'm just going to read 10 through 12. 1 John 10 through 12. Okay, it says, this is just an essence of who God is, or El is. Herein is love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the petitioner of our sins. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought to also to love one another. No man has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwells in us, and his love is perfect in us. So, sometimes people say, oh, God is just love. God is not just love. That's a part of his essence of who God is. That's not the complete essence of God. Because he just showed you he created good and evil. He just a person who it's a spirit that's saying that has emotions. So when we're looking at the Creator from Exodus chapter 20 verse 2, God, the Most High, is not just one thing. He just haven't done one thing. The El is an El of deeds. He's an El of actions. He's an El of something that you probably can't even imagine, because you just put him in a box. Oh, God won't do this, or God won't do that. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 3. Exodus chapter 20 verse 3. Okay. And it says, then the reason why he's saying verse 3 is because of verse 2. Because of what he did for you. That's the reason why he's saying verse 3 is because of verse 2. Because of what somebody else did for you, they telling you, don't let nobody else take the credit for what I done. It's like I was talking to my wife this week, right? And I said, well, baby, give me a percentage of how much I showed you how to shoot. I said, how much percentage did I teach you how to shoot? She said, well, you might have taught me about 60 to 70%. And I said, oh, okay. But I understand that we have been to instructors, but our first 3 years of shooting, she learned from me. And see, I don't want to share my credit with nobody else because of where my wife is today. Because everything that my wife learned from shooting, she learned it from me. But somebody else enhanced it to a certain degree. But she learned everything from me. And that's what the Most High is saying. No, I don't want nobody else to take the credit for what I have done for you. That's why he said, thou shalt have no other else before me. Because of what I did for you. And see, my wife she didn't quite understand that. No, I want the credit for making you a good shooter. I want to take the credit for you being able to shoot 1,200 feet down 1,200 yards. I want to be able to take the credit where the instructor say, okay, Sharon, you ain't got to shoot no more, you good. I don't want nobody else to take the credit for that. Why? Because I did it. I put that time and energy and effort into my wife to make her who she is. I don't want nobody else to take the credit for that. Because they didn't put in the hard work. They didn't put in the fussing and the fighting. They didn't put in, I did not tell you this and did not tell you that. They didn't go to the gun stores and say, we're going to buy this gun or that gun. They didn't put in the time and the energy and the money into my wife to make her be the shooter that she is. So whenever my wife say, I can shoot, no, I want her to be able to bring it back to giving me the credit for making her the good shooter. And that's what the Most High is saying. That's exactly what he is saying. He don't want you to give nobody else the credit for the things that he has given you in your life. He don't want you to tell your company, ABC company, thank you for giving me this. No, he don't want you to do that. Why? Because he did it. He gave you all the things that you have. But see, we get up and say, well, I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that, and I. You know, and the Most High looking at you saying, what you just say? What you just say? And then he said, I did this, and I did that, and da. So it's like, are you serious? The Most High said, are you serious? You did all that yourself? You did it? Are you for real? You know, because you know, let me find something real fast. Because, hold on, let me find. Because let us understand something. The breath that we have in this temple, where did it come from? Where did it come from? I'm trying to find it because it's let me see. So hold on. I want you to be able to understand something. Because we think we have life. We think we did this. We think we did this. Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 2. verse 7. Because sometimes we think we have the power to put the spirit or the breath of life into us. Okay, in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 it says, and Yahuwah formed man out of the dust of the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life, which is the Holy Spirit, and man became a living soul. See, sometimes we think we are the creators of who we are. We think we are the bomb diggity, bomb diggity, bomb diggity. But in actuality, if the Most High did not blow into the nostrils of Adam, we would not be here today. So that's why he really is telling us in Exodus chapter 20 verse 3. He's saying, because of all I did for you, not just in Egypt, but it's just me choosing you, thou shalt have no other else before me. Anytime you put your time and energy into somebody, you put your money into somebody, you put everything, you have made a covenant with that person, you don't want that person to give no credit to nobody but to you. Nobody but to you. See, my wife told me that I get jealous when you talk to other people. Because she wants me to give all that I have to her. Why? Because she made a covenant with me. Because she's spending time with me. She put her energy into me. She fixing my lunch every day. She cooking my dinner 2 or 3 times a week. She doing all that. She wash my clothes. So why should she want me to give her credit to somebody when she putting all that into me? That's the way the Most High feel when he said, verse 3, thou shalt have no other else before me. That's what he's saying. But we don't quite understand that, because what we're doing is taking away the power of what the Most High did and giving it to somebody else who don't even deserve anything at all. Because they didn't get you to the position that you're in. Let's go to verse 4. Then it reads in verse 4 in chapter 20 in Exodus. Exodus chapter 20 verse 4. It reads, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Why is that? Why is the Most High saying that? An image, a graven image. The graven image is something that is made with hands, okay? But graven image is an idol, a carved object. A graven image is a carved object. The graven image is a carved object, okay? Something that is made by hands. Hold on. Okay, let us go to Acts chapter 7 verse 48 and 49. Or 48 and 49. Acts chapter 7. I thought I wrote that down. Acts chapter 7 verses 48 and 49. Verse 48 and 49. Listen to what he say. I'm going to go to verse 47, 48, and 49. It reads, "But Solomon built him an house." It says, "Howbeit the Most High dwell not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophets. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, said Yahuwah? Or what is the place of my rest? Has not my hands made all these things?" That's why he's saying, don't worship something that is created by him, because the Most High said, I created all those things. I created everything that you call yourself worshiping. But let us go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Because right here it's telling you what the Most High is. And sometimes I'm gonna back it up a little bit. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, it tells you that we just read in Acts. Okay, I had it down. And we just had that, and we just saw in Acts chapter 7, verse 47 through 49, that the Most High can't dwell in temples that's made by hand. He dwells in the body. Okay, but also, hold on. Okay, so in Genesis chapter 1 and 2 it reads, "In the beginning God created the heavens and earth." Listen to this, and listen to it. "And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep." Listen. "And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." That is the reason why he's telling you, don't worship things that is created by hand, because it don't have a spirit in it. A lamp don't have no spirit in it. A book don't have no spirit in it. This thing don't have a spirit in it. It's all dead. It's useless. It only has a purpose. This has a purpose to give light. This has a purpose. Where my pen at? This has a purpose of writing. They have purposes. They're not made to be worshipped. The word worship means excellent of character, dignity, worthiness. Okay, a title of honor used in addresses to certain magistrates and other respectable character. Okay, it says a chiefly or eminently the act of paying divine honor to the Supreme Being, or the reverence of homage paid to him in religious exercise consisting or admiration, confession, prayer, thanksgiving, and the like. We can't be giving honor and admiration and prayer to a car, to a house, to clothes. We can't give homage to a house. We got to get that to the spirit. Okay, so It says in Genesis chapter 2 that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the earth. It's telling you that the Most High is a spirit. Okay, so let us go to John 1 and 1. Okay? In John 1 and 1 it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The words was with God, and the Word was God. So it's telling you the Word, the Biblio, the Bible, was with God. It's telling you the words was with God, okay? So it's telling you that the words are spirits. That's how everything come into existence, through the spirit of speaking. Let's go to John chapter 6, verse 63. It says in John chapter 6, verse 63, it reads, it is the spirit that quickens, the flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirits, and they are life. So sometimes when we read this, the words that comes off this page are spirits, and they give us life. These are words of hope. These are words of encouragement. These are life of healings. These are words of prophecy. These are words of whatever you need for them to be. That's why it's designed the way it is, because whatever you need at the time that you need it, if you needed wisdom, go to the book of Proverbs. If you need wisdom, go to the book of Proverbs. Let me read one in the book of Proverbs. Just go to 1 and 1. Proverbs 1 and 1. What did it say? No, I'm going to go back. If you need wisdom, go to Proverbs 1 and 1. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instructions, to perceive words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equality. This is what the word, the Biblio, gives you. And see, when we open up the Bible, we can go to, that's why it has so many sections and so many things in it. It can, whatever you need at the time that you need. If you need history, go to the prophets. If you need prophecy, go to the book of Revelations. If you need law and order, go to Numbers, go to Deuteronomy, go to Leviticus. So when we're looking at the Most High, we have to look at it from a whole totality. We can't just look at it from one thing, because I am not who you think I am. I am what I will be whatever I need to be. He spoke through a donkey. Let us go back to Exodus chapter 20. And I'm about done. And I'm going to read you something before I finish. Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. He said, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, who am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Meaning to misuse his name. Don't misuse his name. I'm just going to read one because I want to talk about something else. I'm going to go to Romans chapter 9. Because what I'm getting ready to read in a few minutes is going to bring you something. It's going to give you a different insight on the passion. Romans 9 verses 13 through 16. It's going to allow you to hear something other. It's going to allow you to hear the emotional side of the Most High. What I want you to do, okay, I'm going to want you to write down Judges chapter 2 verse 19, Zechariah, just Judges chapter 2 verse 19, and Romans 9, 13 through 16. Listen to this. And we're talking about the emotional side of Yahuwah, right? Because Yahuwah is whatever you need for him to be at the time you need it. Okay? Romans chapter 9 verse 13. Listen to this. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, which is emotions. It's also an action word. But Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there any unrighteousness with God? For God forbid. For he said to Moses, I have compassion or mercy. Mercy is compassion, which is an emotional feeling. On whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion or mercy on whom I will have compassion. So then, is it not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of El that showeth mercy? The reason why we have grace is because of the emotional empathy that he had for the children of Israel. And see, sometimes us don't even think that, just say hypothetically, right? And it disappoints me sometimes that when I do something for somebody else get the credit for it. When my children don't listen to me, but they'll go listen to somebody else, it makes me feel bad. Because I know that I'm pouring my heart out and I'm giving my kids and my offspring grace that they don't deserve. So if it affects me, how do you think it affects the Most High? Even though, I want you to understand something. Even though he said this in verse 40 in Isaiah. Don't turn to verse, you can write this down. Isaiah 40, 17 through Isaiah 40, 15 through 17. Even though he said this, he's still having an emotional attached to us. Okay, it says, behold, listen to this in Isaiah 40 and 15. It says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are as counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Laban is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. Listen, even though he may say this stuff, that don't mean this is an emotional thing. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. So when we hear that verse, we hear that, man, the Most High is ruthless. The Most High seems like he's an emotional driven L. But let me read you something out of the Third Testament. Page 147, chapter 22. Okay? Listen to this, because he's comparing himself to parents. It says, "Do not be surprised that my love follows you everywhere in spite of your sins. All of you, my children, have had a reflection of the divine love in the love of your parents in this world. On them you may turn your back, fail to recognize their authority, disobey their orders, and not listen to their counsel." Listen to that. Listen to what he's saying, because he's using the same analogy. Listen to it. You can, through your wrongful actions, cause wound in their hearts, make their eyes dry out from so much crying, make their hair turn gray, and cause their face to be lined by the evidence of their sufferings. But they will never cease loving you. You will have only blessings and forgiveness for you. If these parents that you have had on earth, who are not perfect, have given you such proof of pure and elevated love, why are you surprised that he who formed those hearts and given them the mission of being parents loved you with perfect love? Love is the supreme truth. For truth I made myself man, and for truth I died as a man. Do not be surprised by my love. Do not doubt it if you see that the cup you drink from in the world is very bitter. Men may fall far, fill themselves with darkness, or delay returning to me. But to all will come a moment when feeling me within their very beings. They do not feel me far. They do not see me as a stranger, and cannot deny my existence, my love, and my justice. I do not wish to see you before me as a defendant. I wish to see you always as my children, for whom my fatherly love is always ready to offer aid. I have created you for the glory of my spirit, and for you to find joy in me. Listen to how he is saying. My wife is up here asleep. Learn to love me. Behold, how my love follows you everywhere, even though you continue to sin and offend me. You can never separate or flee from it. Know that the greater your faults, the greater is my mercy for you. Listen to this. The evil in men would seek to halt my love, but cannot, because love is the universal force, the divine power that creates and moves all. The proof of that which I tell you is what I have given you by manifesting myself among you in this time, in which humanity is lost in the abyss of its sins. My love cannot feel the repulsion faced with human sins, but pity. My love cannot feel the repulsion faced with human sin, but pity. Know me, come to me to cleanse your stain. Ask, and it shall be given to you. At times when men judge themselves so unworthy of me that they cannot believe how much I love them, and so when they are resigned to live in distance from their fathers, they construct a life according to their own ideas and create laws in their religion. But their surprise is great when they see me arrive. Then they ask, do our Father truly love us so much that he seeks such a way of communicating with us? Humanity, I can only tell you that what is mine, I will not always allow to be lost. You are mine. Listen to this. I have loved you since before you existed. I will love you for eternity. So sometimes when we think we know how the Most High works and how He is, we don't really know. Because some people don't come to church, or some people don't go to the Most High or surrender themselves because they think that they so much out of His sight that He will never forgive them. But He just told you He will always love you. No matter what you've done, it's just like a parent loving a child. The parent just wants the child to come back to righteousness. He just wants you to do His will. He said He don't want you to come to Him as a defendant, but as His children. So how we see the Most High may not be the way He is. Not saying He's not a vengeful God and He gonna bring He here to bring destruction. Because He bringing destruction on the wicked. So when we start to box the Most High into a box and think He's just one way, it's misleading. We don't really get a clear picture. He's a creator. He's there in everything you want Him to be at the time that you need Him to be. So whatever you need at the time, wherever you are in your life, just call on the Spirit and ask Him to be whatever you need for Him to be. That's when your salvation comes, when you recognize that the Most High is not a finite creature, but He's an infinite spirit that lives forever. When you understand that, and you start utilizing it, really asking the Most High to take the fish scales off your eye, and let you really truly see Him for who He is, you'll really truly be blessed. So Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done, what you continue to do. Abba, we just thank you for being who you are. We thank you for allowing your word to become spirits and allowing your word to be able to give us life. Abba, we just thank you for everything. We just ask that you continue to let your will be done. We ask that you just continue to let your word go out and don't come back forward. We thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for giving us sight to see, ears to hear. We thank you for a healthy mind and a healthy body. We thank you for the little money we have in the bank. We thank you for the clothes that we have on our backs. We thank you for the cars that we drive. We thank you for the house that we live in. And we thank you for the people that are in our life that you have placed in them. For whatever purpose they're there for, we thank you for it. We just ask that you allow us to see what they're there for so we can learn from the situation. Will let us see the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to hear, and speak the way you want us to speak. Abba, forgive us for the sins that we have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. Forgive us for the transgressions of going against our brothers and our sisters in a time of their need. Abba, let us be able to be a helpmate to one another. Let us be able to encourage one another, speak life into someone else. Let us understand that it's not always about us. Because you said, did you feed my people when they was hungry? Did you clothe them when they was naked? Did you visit the less fortunate? Did you go to visit the sick, or did you go to the prison house? But that's about being a selfless servant. Thinking of someone else before you think of yourself in the time of their need and not yours. So we ask that you just continue to bless us and guide us and lead us. Continue to protect us and wrap us around in your bosom. Wrap your arm around us and bring us into your bosoms. We just thank you for everything. We ask that you just continue to let your word go forth. And all these things we pray in your higher name, so let it be. Let me say something to y'all. Y'all need to make sure y'all get some food. Y'all I need to make sure y'all get water. You need to make sure whatever you need to start stacking up on it, and I'm serious about that. I'm in the transportation industry and I see it. I'm asking you, make sure you have what you need. Make sure you have what you need. Happy Sabbath day. Shalom, shalom, shalom.